Have you ever noticed that when certain guys walk into a room, they seem to carry this magnetic energy that women just can't ignore? Heads turn, conversations stop, and suddenly, they've captivated everyone's attention without even trying. These men aren't necessarily the tallest, the richest, or the most conventionally attractive. Instead, they've unlocked something far more impactful, a deep understanding of what makes women truly feel connected and drawn to a man. The great news? This isn't something you're born with, it's something you can cultivate. Contrary to what social media or movies might have you believe, wildly attracting a woman and keeping her attention isn't about having a chiseled jawline or driving a luxury car. It's also not about memorizing canned pickup lines or playing mind games. Real, lasting attachment taps into emotional, psychological, and even instinctual layers of connection. When you hit those levels, trust me, she won't just notice you, she'll feel something deeper, a sense that you're the man she's been waiting for. Here's the kicker though, and this is where so many guys go wrong. Building this kind of connection doesn't mean manipulating or pretending to be someone you're not. It means becoming the best version of yourself. Wild attraction happens when you're confident about your value, emotionally in tune, and genuinely grounded. These traits speak to her heart and mind in ways that go far beyond appearances. You'll create something real, meaningful, and unforgettable. That's the secret sauce that makes her forget every other man. Attraction isn't a guessing game. It's rooted in biology, psychology, and millions of years of evolution. At its core, it's about survival instincts. Crazy, right? But here's the thing. What women find attractive isn't random. Your charm, confidence, and demeanor all signal something deeper to her subconscious mind. Traits like leadership, protector instincts, and emotional strength are major green flags because they tap into her evolutionary programming. Imagine this. Our ancient ancestors weren't swiping on dating apps or crafting witty texts. A woman's choice of a partner could mean the difference between survival or vulnerability for herself and her children. This encoded a deep-rooted preference for men who appeared strong, reliable, and resourceful. Nowadays, the stakes aren't as extreme, but that instinct hasn't gone anywhere. Women are still drawn to traits that make them feel seen, safe, and secure. Here's where things get interesting. Protector energy doesn't mean you have to walk around acting like an action hero or dominating everyone around you. Instead, it's about subtle signals that you're dependable and composed in the face of challenges. Think about the last time you had a conflict at work or an argument with a friend. How did you handle it? If you stayed calm and solution-oriented, congratulations. You were embodying protector energy without even realizing it. Another huge trigger is emotional intelligence. This means being able to read a room, understand feelings, both hers and your own, and react in a way that's empathetic. For example, if she's overwhelmed and stressed, dismissing her feelings by saying, "It's not a big deal," can actually make her shut down. But telling her, "That sounds like a lot to handle. I'm here to support you however you need," builds a feeling of trust and reassurance. These moments are subtle but impactful because they fulfill the primal desire for emotional safety. Ambition plays a role too. A man with goals and direction automatically signals that he has what it takes to lead, adapt, and succeed. This doesn't mean you have to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Ambition is about showing that you have purpose, that you're working towards something meaningful. Want to harness these primal signals in your everyday life? Start small. Observe how you handle challenges, whether it's finding solutions to minor inconveniences or navigating more complicated situations. Practice staying calm and decisive under pressure. If you're out with her at a crowded event and something feels off, say the space becomes too overwhelming, address it confidently. "Hey, this spot's too packed. Let's grab a table somewhere quieter so we can really talk." That blend of protectiveness and proactivity is pure gold. Simple acts of care also send strong signals. It could be walking her safely to her car or casually lending her your jacket on a chilly evening. These actions might seem trivial, but to her, they communicate, "I've got you," without you uttering a single word. Here's one of the biggest misunderstandings about attraction. Women don't stay deeply attached to a man because of his looks. Sure, physical attraction might spark initial interest, but if you rely solely on your appearance, you're setting yourself up for short-term results at best. Emotional connection, on the other hand, is what builds the kind of bond that stands the test of time. The bottom line? If you make her feel something, she'll crave your presence more than any six-pack photo could achieve. What does emotional attraction actually mean? At its core, it's about creating a sense of connection that goes beyond surface-level interactions. It's about making her feel valued, understood, and emotionally safe. When a woman feels that you genuinely see her, not just for how she looks, but for who she is, that's when attachment takes root. Unlocking emotional attraction starts with one simple ingredient: listening. And no, this doesn't mean waiting for your turn to talk. Listening means being present, paying attention to what she says, and asking thoughtful follow-up questions. For example, if she shares an anecdote about her day, don't just nod and move on. Engage. Say something like, "That sounds like it was really challenging. How did you handle it?" This shows her you're genuinely interested in her experiences. Trust is another pillar of emotional attraction. When she feels like she can open up without fear of judgment, that's when her guard starts to lower. Practice this by being vulnerable yourself. Share your own thoughts, experiences, and dreams in ways that invite her to do the same. Vulnerability is magnetic because it shows authenticity. But don't confuse emotional intimacy with overthinking or losing your own edge. Women are drawn to men who can balance depth with playfulness. Keep things exciting by injecting a little unpredictability, like planning a spontaneous weekend road trip or suggesting a fun, out-of-the-box date idea. Remember, it's not about being serious all the time. It's about creating a connection that's meaningful, but still full of life and laughter. Here's a real example of combining emotional depth with spontaneity. Imagine you're sitting with her at dinner, and she mentions she hasn't had much time to relax lately. Instead of just saying, "That's tough," surprise her by saying, "You know what? This weekend we're hitting pause on everything and having a lazy pancake breakfast at my place. No phones allowed. Deal?" You've instantly made her feel cared for emotionally while keeping the interaction playful and light. On top of that, be consistent in showing you care. Send her a text mid-week saying, "Hey, I was thinking about what you said the other day. How are you feeling about it now?" This not only signals emotional attentiveness, but also reaffirms that her thoughts and experiences matter to you. By building this layer of connection, you're differentiating yourself from every other guy she might meet. You're planting the idea in her mind that you're not just someone she enjoys spending time with. You're someone who understands her, values her, and makes her feel like her best self. And when you can do that, you'll be unforgettable. Here's a hard truth most men overlook. Your belief in your own worth sets the tone for how others see you, especially in relationships. If deep down you feel like you're not good enough for love, companionship, or respect, those insecurities will silently, and sometimes loudly, dictate how you show up. It's not just in your words, but in your body language, the energy you project, and even the choices you make. This self-doubt creeps into your interactions. You hesitate before speaking. You seek constant reassurance. Or worse, you behave in ways that scream, "Please approve of me." Women read those signals effortlessly. They don't need a translator. They can feel the nervous vibes, the lack of confidence, and the subtle ways you chase validation. And what does that do? It creates an uphill battle for genuine attraction and connection. No woman wants to be with a man who constantly doubts himself. They're looking for someone who already knows their value, not someone they have to convince of it. Now, flip that script. Imagine walking into a conversation or relationship grounded in the unshakable belief that you're worthy of love, respect, and connection. When you radiate that certainty, even without saying a word, it's palpable. She'll pick up on your confidence and feel naturally drawn to your energy. Understand that this isn't arrogance. It's about secure, quiet self-assurance. But here's the catch. This kind of belief doesn't come out of thin air. You need to build it, step by step, with action. Here's a question for you. What's the narrative you've been living by? Every time a thought like, "I'm not good enough," or "Why would she pick me over someone else?" pops into your head, stop and dissect it. Where did that thought come from? Maybe it's the lingering impact of a past rejection, a toxic relationship, or even something as distant as childhood experiences. But now ask yourself, does that belief truly align with the man you are today? Spoiler alert, it probably doesn't. Take a class on something you've always wanted to learn. Volunteer your time at a local organization. Growing your independence not only deepens your own sense of fulfillment, but also shows women that your world is complete on its own. And that's incredibly attractive. Women are naturally intrigued by men who aren't easy to figure out. This doesn't mean you play games. It means you bring enough richness to the table that she finds herself wanting to learn more about you week after week, rather than bombarding her with constant attention or over-explaining yourself. Give space for mystery. Focus on your own passions, celebrate your experiences, and watch how she becomes more and more curious about you and your life. Here's something you might not hear often enough. Your ability to make decisions defines how attractive you are. This isn't about dominating or being controlling. It's about showing initiative and knowing your own mind. When women see that you can make thoughtful choices, big or small, they feel like they can trust you in moments that matter. Think about it. How many times have you second-guessed yourself or deferred to someone else just to go with the flow? While it might seem like a way to avoid conflict or come across as agreeable, it can actually signal insecurity. Contrast that with someone who confidently takes the lead, whether it's saying, "I think Italian would be great for dinner. There's this place I know you'll love," or proactively solving an issue instead of waiting around. Start small and build the muscle of decision-making. Every day you're faced with hundreds of small choices, from what to eat to how you'll spend your evening after work. The goal is simple. Own your choices. For instance, instead of spending 20 minutes scrolling Netflix options, pick one movie you've been curious about and commit to it. This might seem trivial, but the confidence you gain from consistent decision-making translates into larger areas of life. When it comes to relationships, practice making decisions that respect both your boundaries and hers. If there's something important to you, be it a career opportunity, a family obligation, or a lifestyle preference, don't shy away from expressing it. Women find men who know what they want ultra-attractive because it signals self-awareness and maturity. Here's a little secret. Not every decision will be the right one, and that's okay. What matters is how you handle those moments. The next time you make a call that doesn't go as planned, own it. Saying, "You know what? I miscalculated on that, but here's what I'd do differently next time," shows accountability. And that's a hallmark of true confidence. One of the easiest ways to radiate confidence? Assume mutual attraction from the get-go. This doesn't mean being cocky or dismissive. It's about carrying yourself with the energy that says, "I'm worthy of your attention, and I believe you're someone worth getting to know too." When you operate from this mindset, the entire dynamic shifts. It becomes lighthearted, engaging, and free of overthinking. When you cling to doubts like, "Does she even like me?" you project a vibe of uncertainty that impacts your interactions. But when you go in assuming she's already interested, your demeanor becomes far more relaxed and engaging. You're no longer in a state of chasing approval. You're providing it with your presence. Body language plays a big role. Stand tall, maintain steady, but not intimidating eye contact, and keep your gestures calm, open, and purposeful. These small tweaks signal composure. Likewise, your tone matters. Speak with clarity and avoid trailing sentences that make you seem unsure. When she compliments you, ditch the self-deprecating responses or overly humble remarks. Instead, respond with something playful yet confident like, "Oh, you've got great taste, huh?" Playfulness makes interactions fun, but the undertone of self-assurance is what pushes it to the next level. Don't just assume attraction, engage it. A perfect example of this approach is when playful teasing comes into view. If she mentions she takes forever picking out an outfit, You might smile and say, "I had a feeling I was going to be competing with your closet for attention tonight." Lines like that add a flirty, light-hearted air to the interaction, while steering clear of overly serious vibes. Ambition isn't about working long hours at the office or aiming for the top of the corporate ladder, although those things can be part of it. Ambition is simply about pursuing something meaningful. Women notice when you have clear goals and are actively working toward them. It reflects a man who lives with purpose and intention, not someone floating through life waiting for it to happen to him. Share your dreams with her, no matter how big or small. Show her what excites you, what drives you, and what you value. But always remember, working toward your goals isn't just about impressing her. It's about becoming the kind of man you respect, which will naturally make women respect you too. Ambition doesn't mean neglecting your connection with her. The trick is maintaining momentum in your pursuits while also being present. For example, if you're working late nights on a project, show her she's still on your mind by sending a quick "thinking of you" message. That way, she knows you're making progress in your ambitions without distancing yourself emotionally. At the end of the day, making a woman wildly attached to you isn't some trick or formula. It's about growth, awareness, and authenticity. You can't fake intrinsic value, emotional intelligence, or ambition, nor should you try. When you focus on improving yourself, on becoming the kind of man you admire, the rest will naturally follow. This is your invitation to stop chasing approval and start attracting it. Building trust, cultivating emotional intimacy, and radiating self-worth are all steps that lead to deeper, more meaningful connections. Remember, everything starts with you. Take bold steps, even if they're small ones today. Whether it's setting a new goal, flipping an old self-limiting belief, or practicing more vulnerability, every move matters. Now it's time to take the first step towards showing up as the most confident, compelling version of yourself. Go crush it. You've got this.